Hello everybody, my name is Dee, but you can call me the Riddler if you like, and welcome to the Dee-Cap, a show where I watch TTRP actual plays so that you don't have to. I'm going to watch and condense an entire series down so that you can catch the latest episode when it goes live on Twitch. Today we're going to be talking about Lorelwind. Lorelwind is a homebrew 5e D&D campaign run by the lovely folks over at Gut Punch RP. For those of you who don't know, Gut Punch RP is a TTRPG gaming channel focused on inclusivity and charity in the gaming space. Their flagship show, Lorelwind, has over 60 episodes, 250 hours of content, and a whole bunch of dice rolled. So without further ado, let's get into the Dee-Cap. Welcome to Lorelwind, where adventurers of all kinds can fill their pockets with coin and bellies with ale. Townsfolk need help with all manner of odd jobs, but take caution when asked to move outside of civilization, for lost and weary souls seek to squash your light and bring it to their vile masters. Trickster, fey, torment, and trick for entertainment. Nobles seek discreet action as much as swift force. Be wary of an alliance with one, for it may bring trouble with another. They all have a tale to tell, but which one holds the truth? It's hard to say. Unless, of course, you... Our story begins with a humble fishing boat coming into Lockvar port. The boat, carrying Bjorn, our human barbarian, Scotty, our human fighter, and Kyola, our furbolg druid, also contains a couple passengers who are traveling by more fanciful means, like Corvina, our Yuan-Ti warlock, who prefers a more flamboyant mode of travel using her snake familiars to traverse the landscape, or seascape, I guess. Far less excited, however, is our halfling rogue, Annabelle, who wakes up on the shore with no idea where she is, last remembering being more than half a continent away. Eventually, our intrepid adventurers make their way to an inn and meet an odd elf who reveals himself to be named Vafnir and seems to be from the Feywild. Vafnir also reveals that Annabelle is wearing Helga's collar, a cursed necklace or gorget that is slowly transforming the halfling into a merfolk. Intent on helping Annabelle out, the party bargains with Vafnir for a map to Helga's cave in the Gildenheim region, in exchange for borrowing Kyola's face for a bit. You know, Fey shit. After brief battles in the cave, Scotty warns Annabelle that it would be wise to make sure that this sea witch is truly the one who cursed her. Otherwise, she could demand payment simply for removing the curse. This advice rings true when the party meets Helga, who remarks that the necklace isn't her handiwork, but that she could certainly take over the debt. The necklace seems to be the work of a great sea witch known as Ursula. Well, not that Ursula, but, well, maybe that Ursula. Anyway, in exchange for removing the gorget, Annabelle promises to return here and complete a task for Helga every night of her birth, which has to be one of the worst birthday traditions I think I've ever heard of. Upon their exit, the party is warned of Queen Regina of Holson House by a stranger named Snow. Apparently, Vafnir, wearing Kyola's face, saved Snow from the guard after she was captured during her quest to kill the evil queen. Snow then shows Kyola a wanted poster with her face on it. That same evening, Annabelle has a curious dream of a feminine form underwater with purple hair. Noticing that Annabelle isn't breathing, Scotty and Kyola jolt her awake and she sputters water everywhere. Hoping to earn some coin, the party takes an escort job to recover some ore, fight some bandits, and make it back home before dinner time. Although during the encounter, Scotty seems to briefly spark with electricity. After celebrating a job well completed, the party attempt to help a woman who is frantically looking for her young daughter. With some tips, the party tracks back to a small shack spewing sickly green light, and Annabelle sneaks closer only to witness a young boy being turned into a cat by 3 women. The party bursts in, and while Annabelle checks on Emily, the woman's missing daughter, the Vikings, Bjorn and Scotty, steal a book made of human skin. Rushing back to the town after the witches and a massive display of enchantment magic, the witches seem to have lined up the townsfolk, separating them by adults and youths as the party arrives. 2 of them are slain by the party, but the third manages to steal the book back and vanishes into smoke. The town slowly returns to normal, with Annabelle explaining to Emily's mother that the young girl had been drained of life to keep the witches powerful. The mother, somber but resolute, requests that Annabelle find the witch and jam a dagger through her heart. The somber mood seems to spread to the party, but just as the crowd is reconvening, it is split by the personal guard of Queen Regina, who walks up to Kyola and just plants a kiss on her. Oh my god, the tea? After arresting the party and charming Kyola, the queen demands answers from Kyola, revealing that she, after chasing down a warlock intending to release his patron, was trapped in the Feywild herself. The warlock trapped her in the Feywild, and this is around the time that Vafir found, then subsequently abandoned her, and Regina had to bargain with a member of Fey nobility to get free. Wanting to try and help somehow, Kyola is told of a keep outside of the town that is built on a rift to the Shadowfell, and Queen Regina suspects that someone is trying to open the rift. Meanwhile, dropping his disguise as an also arrested drunkard, Vafir reveals that he considers himself to be the party's fairy godmother, and having taken a shine to the party and seeing a chance to screw over his sister Vasmir by trapping her in the Feywild, don't worry, we'll fucking get to her. He tells the party that there will be 2 items they receive in the future that they are to give to Vafir. The next morning, Queen Regina arrives expecting an answer, and the party accepts, being given more information on the warlock Queen Regina has been chasing. His name is Asmodeus, and his patron is the goddess of night Shar, under whose command there are 7 aberrations called the Sorrowsworn. After heading out to the keep, the party deals with some robed goons and trades pocket bacon for a new friend. After journeying deeper into the keep, the party finds Sir Keegan, a knight of the Queen, who in his final letter confirmed the evil aura that the keep gives off due to its proximity to a rift that leads to the Shadowfell. Though a certain set of circumstances that had nothing to do with any member of the party in particular, #Kai did nothing wrong, Splug is sacrificed, RIP Splug, we knew ye well, to summon a giant clad in a metal helmet and smattered with soot. Charred bits of flesh poke out from under its large gauntlets and over its spiked mace, the eyes dead and the jaw slackened as this creature hobbles to some sort of half-life. Asmodeus revels. Number 3 lets us find the rest of you. It is by your hand they shall feel her wrath. Before escaping with the primordial in tow and leaving the party to deal with more cultists. During which, Scotty is struck and her hammer flies from her hand. Adrenaline pumping through her veins, Scotty wills the hammer back to her grip and finishes off the cultists with her party and Mjolnir at her side. Returning to town, the party heads to Quizzic's Quizzical Quandaries, a magic shop that they had visited before, and confirm that our halfling rogue Annabelle's sword is indeed cursed. The beef of all ages then starts between Quizzic and Kyola, our Furbolg druid, before being offered another job involving ore and possibly continued work for Annabelle. The party decide to have a good old-fashioned planning session, though, as is the nature of tabletop role-playing games, no plan is going to go the way that you actually spend 25 minutes planning for it to go. After the party retires for the evening, however, both of our Vikings have curious dreams. Bjorn, our human barbarian, finds himself in front of a bear, a wolf, and an eagle, the latter of which flies away after imparting a haunting message on Bjorn. It's time to come home, Bjorn. Scotty, our human fighter, dreams of a lightning storm, charging that same hammer that found its way back into her hand. Eyeing a black wolf with a gray collar, Scotty throws the hammer as lightning crashes behind her before the wolf catches it, growing golden hooves and morphing into a werewolf before tossing the hammer back. Suddenly far heavier in her grasp, Scotty drops it and shoots awake, as does Bjorn. Our childhood friends share their dreams with each other, wondering not only what it means for them now, but what the future holds for them as well. The next morning, the party splits up in an attempt to steal the ore that they were contracted to retrieve earlier. After just an absolutely lovely bit of acting from our druid and barbarian, as well as surely shortening the lifespan of a horse with fireworks, the party managed to steal some of the ore from a group of 4 adventurers, who I'm sure we'll never see again. After returning and being paid, the party buy Sheriff Swan a drink and give her the updates on everything. Taking it all in like a badass, Sheriff Swan tells the party to be at her office next morning, and then, oh hey, it's those 4 adventurers that we were never going to see again. They reveal themselves to have been enlisted by the goddess Saloon to out the followers of her sister, the Queen of Night Shar. The party then decides to relay their adventure with the cult as Luna, a member of the Saloon crew, translates the runes the party found in the keep. Loxley, another member of the Saloon crew, remarks that a brooch Kyola wears is actually her dad's. Having passed at this point from old age, Loxley tells the party the tale of her father, the legendary Robin Hood. Feeling a kinship with these 4, the party invites the Saloon crew to drink with them. In a 2-1 victory with a 1 tie by Annabelle and Shorgath, the party managed to defeat the Saloon crew in a drinking game, but in spite of their loss, the Saloon crew form a deep bond with our intrepid adventurers. And, you know, Mari and Annabelle bond over fireworks, which was adorable, and I loved every second of it. Shortly after, the least realistic thing to ever happen in this fantasy world actually happens, as Scotty, covered in glitter, hugs the party, and no one resists, and everyone is covered in glitter. Listen, Scotty seems like a very nice person. I cannot stress how much I would rather actually fist fight her than be hugged by someone covered in glitter. That feels like an eternal curse forever. The next morning, Kyola finds a glowing orb that refers to itself as something, a Fae-related being. And the party is hired by Queen Regina to investigate a few locations where other dimensional rifts may be. She also imparts a magic mirror to the party's inventory to talk to her. Then things get juicy, because after the party agrees to help Sheriff Swan investigate some missing people, at Nyx's apothecary shop, she reveals that Annabelle continues to find cursed items because she herself is cursed. After a bit of prodding, Annabelle reveals that she was a sailor and got caught up in an electrical storm much like the one that took place in Lockvar. She was thrown from her ship and can't remember anything after that. After the storm, she woke up halfway across the continent, and while she assumed she had been missing for weeks, she'd actually been missing for 3 entire years. That's a wide gap in time, fam. That evening, Annabelle dreams she is on a ship. Emergency bells ringing, panic, shouting, and a young girl before being flung, suddenly submerged and fading, before snapping awake and vomiting more foamy seawater. Annabelle explains to the party that she needs to find Ellie, who is also aboard Riptide's Fortune, fucking sick name for a ship, by the way, when it wrecked. Ellie is Annabelle's sister, and by her own admission is all that she has. Nyx tells the party that Annabelle's specific brand of curse is one that warps her memories, and recommends that they meet Niralana, a specialist in casting and breaking curses. She also tells the party that what's been hunting things and making people go missing is something called a Somberweave. In a dusty, eerily quiet bookstore, the party sneaks inside, quietly remarking on the interior, before they creak up the wooden steps, finding globs of web stuck in various corners and along the handrails. And then hanging from the ceiling with 2 captives in tow, 6 arms, glowering red eyes, and fangs abear. Olivia, the Somberweave, stares, then screeches at them and scuttles away like a little fucking freak of nature. In the midst of the combat, however, Olivia webs up Sheriff Swan and vanishes briefly, reappearing without her. The party manages to defeat the Somberweave, but this does not bring the good sheriff back. Contacting anyone of help they can think of, the party gets in touch with Nyx and attempts to contact fairy godmother Vafir, but cannot. They also get a hold of a fairly disappointed queen and the saloon crew, who intend to hunt down and return Sheriff Swan. The queen tells the party about an artifact in one of the keys, another woman who seems to be investigating that same era. After being asked a couple of questions by the party, Luna shares the tale of a mermaid who fell in love with a human prince and begged a sea witch named Ursula for— God damn it, Jess, it is that Ursula! You're gonna get sued by Disney. The party prepares themselves for a long trip to Falkfell, including Bjorn getting probably the best clearance deal I've ever seen on a couple of horses, and Scotty learning that she now has a revitalizing touch. Setting off for Falkfell, the party encounters Jacques, a bard who is strapped to a tree that uses a lute to heal himself. What he can't do, however, is see the best party member, Something. Something is the best, Something is my child. If anyone raises a hand to Something, we riot. When Something comes out, they remark that the moon is fuzzy but has a lot to say, and also that they can see into the Shadowfell. While on watch together, Annabelle tells Scotty that she reminds her of her sister Ellie, always getting into trouble. When they found Riptide's fortune, she ordered her younger sister to calm down and get more accustomed to the life that they were going to lead now. Ellie was training to be a healer and could never leave an injured creature by itself. Annabelle stares off into the night, eyes longing for a time before, a time long since past. On their travels, the party has to fight some displacer beasts, which Annabelle's sword is a little too into. They find a locket of some type and, oh hey, that one bandit that survived in episode 3, what's up dude? You made it! Look at you go! Eventually, the party makes it to Falkfell, a city built around a volcano where it's rumored that King Stefan is worried about a daughter. Annabelle spots two people wearing hoods and trying to obscure themselves, talking about one of them getting out of the city quietly. I wonder who that could be. And that's it. Well, that's not totally it. Clearly things continue to happen, but that is the end of the prologue of Lorelwind. It's episodes 1 through 17, which I lovingly refer to in my notes as humbled beginnings, because my goodness, the dice were not very nice to our party in this particular arc of the show. But I love this show. The cast is great, and as someone who's been working with the Gut Punch folks for a while now, I can tell you that Lorelwind only gets better from here, so you're going to want to keep an eye out for the next recap video to keep catching up, and eventually you'll be able to catch this show live, twitch.tv/gutpunchrp 7:30 EST every Monday for Lorelwind. And yeah, that's all I got for you. Leave a comment down below. Tell me what your favorite moment was and who your favorite character is thus far. My name is Dee. Thank you so much for watching the Dee-Cap. Please follow my social media down below. Click that bell to stay updated for all the videos that are going to be added to this channel. And until the next time I see you all, be good people. Bye.